Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to get into a variety of topics, but let's talk briefly about Tesla prices compared and take a look at all the different lowest prices for all Tesla vehicles currently for the Model 3 and the Model Y, because I know a lot of you might be interested or might be trying to figure out, is it worth it to buy a Tesla Model 3 or step up for the Tesla Model Y? And on top of that, is it worth it to just wait for the Model 3 Highland that could be coming out? So we're going to take a look at all the different pricing, analyze and see which one makes the most sense in terms of best value, and see which one you might think as the best value on top of that. But we're going to get into that plus a variety of topics. But before we do that, let's roll that intro really quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla deal hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. And we just found a credit union on this list that anybody can qualify and join. It has interest rates as low as 3.99%. So once you join, the guide gets auto sent to you, which has all the credit union lists. And thank you to all my Patreon members that just joined: Brian, Aline, Marty, Renuka, Joe, and Alex. Thank you for supporting. If you want to check out, Patreon link down below in the description. So what I actually did is I went to every single Model 3 in inventory in all the different trims, and I went to every single Model 3 in inventory in every single trims, because if you didn't know, if you haven't seen any of the content recently, all Tesla Model 3 and Model Y's trims have inventory discounts that are available anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 plus. Don't forget to stack that with a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, and you can get an extra 6 months of free supercharging plus 3 months of full self-driving after you click it. You go to the Tesla website, find the inventory vehicle that you're interested in, and then go ahead and place the deposit. But what we did is we took a look at every single trim and found the cheapest, most inexpensive Tesla that you could buy that's brand new from Tesla. And we charted down all the different prices to see what's the difference between like a Model 3 standard range versus like a Model Y standard range, long range versus long range, and of course Model 3 performance versus the Model Y performance, to really see like how much more are you actually going to be paying to be if you went from Model 3 to Model Y, or if you went from like Model 3 inventory discounted versions from a standard range to long range, and then performance, to see if it actually makes the most sense at the end of the day with what type of pricing it actually is. And of course, we added another bucket because of there's this massive $7,500 federal tax credit, which also adds a bigger discount as well, that I would feel like most people buying a Tesla should qualify for. And if you don't, if you make less than that threshold for that amount, then I would say wait until next year to buy a Tesla. And we'll talk about that probably tomorrow, actually. That's a good topic, but let's get into it. So here are the prices charted on the screen. So Model 3 versus Model Y. What we did was we found the cheapest one in inventory. We've got the $7,500 discount. I gotta change this because there is no more $250 referral discount. It's only 6 months of free supercharging plus 6 months of 3 months of full self-driving, which is worth about $600. But let's chart this out. So you can see right here on the first one, we got the Model 3 standard range in the first column starting at $36,650, then bumping up to long range at $44,640, and then Model 3 performance at about $3,000 higher than that at $47,420. Adjusted after the prices, after the $7,500 federal tax credit, that's where you'll see the big discounts all the way as cheap or as low as under $30,000 for a Model 3 standard range. Moving over to the Model Y side, on the right side, we've got standard range at $40,990, long range at about $6,000 more price at $46,540, and then Model Y performance at about a $3,000 $2,000 higher price than that at $49,870. And then here's the $7,500 federal tax prices adjusted from here, starting at $33,490 all the way up to $42,370. And so this is where I think it gets pretty interesting from my perspective. So you can see right here, if we were to compare apples to oranges, going from a Model 3 standard range rear-wheel drive to a Model Y standard range rear-wheel drive is a $4,000 difference, actually over $4,000. And so that's tough for me to try and wrap my head around. I mean, maybe it's not that bad, only a 10% price increase for probably 20 to 30% more space, size, and value. So maybe that actually makes a lot of sense. But Model 3 long range, going from a Model 3 long range to a Model Y long range, that definitely makes a lot of sense to me. Only a $2,000 difference or $1,900 difference between the Model 3 long range and the Model Y long range. And then lastly, kind of the same story with the performance variants, Model 3 performance versus the Model Y performance at about a $2,400 difference between the two. But really this goes to show like what are types of prices between both models. I mean, really, if you're looking for the cheapest, most inexpensive Tesla, then of course the Model 3 standard range is going to be your best bet. And that's an impeccable value at under $30,000. But if I were to be buying a vehicle, probably I would go with the Model Y long range. That does seem to be the best value. You get the good amount of range, plus you get good amount of space because it's a bigger SUV. And so it's positioned pretty nicely in terms of the difference between the two vehicles. And of course, we put a poll out on the channel. We asked everybody earlier today, what Model Y or which Tesla is the best value, and an overwhelming percent. Of course, we didn't put performance because we didn't have enough categories here, but an overwhelming 56% said the Model Y long range is actually the best value when compared to all the other different vehicles here. And then in second place was actually the Model 3 standard range at $29,150, Model 3 long range in last place, and the Model Y standard range was in that third spot at 11%. But another good exercise to go between some of this would be monthly payments, especially now that there's very inexpensive monthly payments for leasing a Tesla. And so this is where it gets pretty interesting as well, because right now we can quickly see what the monthly payment on a Model Y rear-wheel drive lease is, and it's actually going to be $349 a month. But switching this to Model 3 standard range, you'll see that the lease payment is as low as $303 a month. So about a $50 a month difference, which might not seem like a lot, but if you take like $50 and divide it by like $300 as your base price, that's about a 16% increase. So the question is $50 worth more to a month to pay for a Model Y? I would say so at the end of the day, especially when you're getting better deals, an arguably better deal because the Model Y has a bigger discount than the Model 3 currently does, especially this current Model Y rear-wheel drive. If you don't need that all-wheel drive, then that would be a fantastic deal and fantastic discount. Of course, don't forget to stack that with a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, so you can get 6 months of free supercharging plus 3 months of full self-driving. So definitely check it out. Tesla referral code down below in the description. And thank you to everybody that's used our Tesla referral code in the past and in the future. But we're going to jump into the next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link to support the channel. Get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla, all better than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description.